Good morning, guys. Luke with Premium Aquatics here, bringing you my tank. I'm not adding anything this week. I just want to go over a couple of the products that I've already added to the system, the skimmer, the clear. I'm going to show you a real quick clip of the GHL doing its water change sped up. It's working actually really great. What I'm doing is essentially I'm pulling out 3,000 milliliters. I'm putting 3,000 milliliters in within a minute of each other so it doesn't trip off my ATK. I don't have to worry about turning it off, turning it back on, or anything like that. It works seamlessly for me. It's a really easy setup. It'll allow me to do a lot more water changes as frequently or as infrequently as I want to do it. I'm going to try doing a weekly water change at this point. I'm having issues still with some green cyanish type bacteria. It's definitely, I think, because of the TDS that was raised up a month or two ago when I found out that my TDS probes weren't in there properly, and now it's caught up with me, and so I have this algae issue that's going on in the rocks and on the back wall. So I'm going to do a little bit to combat that. One is going to be water changes frequently and get that, hopefully that water with the TDS out. And then also what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually darken this tank for a few days and use some of this EVA foam mats that I gotten for some making a costume for my boy for Halloween this year. So I'm going to cut some of this up and basically, or I'm going to actually use two full pieces, and what I'll do is I will put it over the top here. I'm going to leave a center row right here because the anemone actually is holed up right here. The anemone comes out the back portion during the day, and then after the lights start going out, he goes back and holds up in this little cavern in here. So I don't really want to mess with him. And there's not a lot of algae going on in the center. Actually, the Mexican turbo snail that I had cleaned up a lot of it. So I'm actually just going to worry about the two end portions of the tank just to speed things get along to get that algae out of there. So this is what I'll do, darken the entire system, again for just a weekend here and see what it does for me. And then that, with in combination of the water changes, should take care of this algae that I got lingering here. If not, obviously we can get a reactor on there, and that's actually another thing that's going to be coming soon is a reactor, so keep out for that. We'll do some phosphate media, we'll do some carbon media to clean, make sure this water stays nice and clear. That's what we've got going on this week. Beyond that, I'm not adding anything different into the system, but I did want to go over the different pieces of equipment that I have been running for a good 2 months now and let you know how it's been working for me. I actually really like this setup that I've got going on here, and first and foremost, the Sea Swirl. Sea Swirls, a lot of comments about it being big and bulky, and they are a little bit bigger, but honestly, I am actually very, very happy with it. I'm one of those that love to have as minimal equipment that I can see as possible. I don't want anything taken away from my tank as much as I can, which is why I love the Vortex. But I was a little concerned with the Sea Swirl because they are a bigger piece on top of the aquarium. However, I find I really don't notice it, especially when I'm just sitting here enjoying my tank. I'm all down here, and it's not something that's in the water taken away from that display. So with it being on top, to me, honestly, in my opinion, I don't really care about it. It's there. It's not that bad actually when you really consider it and all the other equipment that we have. So I'm actually really, really happy with it. I love the variance and flow that it gives me when it swings all the way up to the front of the tank all the way to the back. It's really nice to have that swing flow back and forth just to ensure as much as this detritus or anything that sits down below the rock can get pushed out that the Ecotex may be missing up front. And then the Ecotex from there can take it, swirl it around, and then eventually come back across the back wall and get to the overflow. Haven't had any issues with it whatsoever, so that's really nice and something to check out and consider. So I'll take you out, I'll get you a little bit closer to the sump, we'll go over the clear, the skimmer, let you know how those are doing. All right, down in the sump, we are looking at the Nios Quantum skimmer that I had set up, the clear 4-inch filter roller with the bracket. As you can tell with this skimmer, this guy is pulling out like a beast. This has been 2 days now since I last emptied out this collection cup. Now it is running fairly wet, and that is because this skimmer needs to be raised up maybe an inch or so off the bottom because this is wide open now and the water level is still right up here. No matter what I do, it creates a pretty wet skim mate, which I'm okay with. It's still doing a great job. It's pulling out a lot of gunk, but I normally like a little bit drier, and it doesn't fill up the cup nearly as fast, but it's still pulling out a lot of gunk, and we love that. So this is actually performing phenomenally, and I really love that so far. I just need to get a mat here to put underneath so it raises it up a little bit and lowers this level just a touch, because I don't really want to adjust the water level in the sump right now because of how the rest of the flow is working. On the filter roller here, I'll just take off this cap because it does have some moisture inside, but this thing is working great for me as well. This fleece has actually lasted a long time. I can't pinpoint when I changed that. It's been at least a couple months now. I'll put right here when it actually has been, but this is working really well for me. You can see the top fleece is pretty dirty, nice green brown, and then this filter roll, we're probably about, I would say, maybe halfway through, but doing really great. When this one is done, we'll probably change over and test out a new fleece roller. So if you're looking for a filter roller, this is an absolute beast and a really nice one to check out. It does have a fairly small footprint if you're just doing the drop-in version. Again, be careful with the sumps. There are some sumps that they don't fit where you can just drop them in. Some do, some need a little modification, so be cautious of that, and check that out before you end up purchasing one, because you may have to do some modifications depending on which sump it is. But if you don't, you can always get this bracket and set it up like I did, and it's performing phenomenally. I love it. It's done very, very well. It's very quiet. I haven't had any issues with the pump or anything not working. The sensor is great. I do not get any stench out of this used fleece. If that is a concern for you, this skimmer, much worse, much worse when I take that off and start cleaning that out. That thing is disgusting. But this, I can't tell anything. When I walk in the room, there is no stench that I'm aware of or can smell, so that's really nice. If you're concerned about that, if that's a question, don't worry about that. Mine's been doing great. While I'm down here, you can't tell, but you see this hole right here. There's actually a lid that goes on this if you use PVC. Makes it nice and a little bit neater, but there's a hole on the other side as well for a screw. And so what I did for the doser is the one that is pulling out of the sump, I have it threaded through this hole and into this little box here. That way I can have both pumps essentially going at the same time, like you saw in that sped up video. And so the one that pump number 2 will pull out of this chamber here, and pump number 1 is just putting through one of these bulkheads back into the sump. That way I have no chance of crossing the waters over. There's no chance for that water that gets put in to go reverse into that chamber and get pulled out. So it works out pretty well. I actually like it. It's doing a great job for me. All right, guys, that's it for me. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. If you haven't already, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share the content, hit that bell for notifications so you stay the most up to date on this system as well as the other videos we're putting out. And we'll see you next weekend. Peace.
Alright guys, welcome back, Premium Aquatic Squad. My dad forgot to put in what I said the cat's name was, and to comment down below what you guys think the fishes, the lightning maroons, name were. I mean, to comment down below what you think they should be named. So, comment down below what you think they should be named, and so, drum roll, the cat's name is Anna, and we're carving our pumpkins. Mine's gonna be Harry Potter's glasses and a scar. If you would know if you see the movie. Avery's gonna do a normal face, and Daddy's gonna do.
Haven't decided yet.
Haven't decided yet. I think he should do a Stormtrooper. Bye, Premium Aquatic Squad.
Daddy, I'm trying to clap.
Peace out.